Starting now, this is Real People. Real issues. Real news. Real people.
I'm Stephanie Allensworth, and this is Real People.
This is Real People.
Hi, welcome to today's show. I'm here with Roger Cravey, who is a sports collector, and he has a very interesting item he'd like to share with us today. Obviously, it's about hockey. So welcome, Roger. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about your big find here.
Well, I'm a old hockey player, an old goalie, and collector of various sports memorabilia. And I like old wooden hockey sticks. To me, it tells a story. It's almost folk art. And so I'm always on the lookout for them, garage sales. I happened to go in at 50th and Xerxes, an antique store, hunt and gather, and I was just walking through the basement, and in the corner there was a kind of a tub with some old hockey sticks sticking out and some other things, and I saw this one and I knew right away that it was something special. And so I bought it.
Did they know it was something special?
I don't believe so. Yeah, I mean, it was just, you know.
It's always better that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I bought it immediately and then just started to do the research, and that kind of has started this whole story on this hockey stick.
Yeah, so your hockey stick is actually going to the Hockey Hall of Fame next week, is it?
Correct. Probably by the time this airs, this hockey stick will be either on its way to or in Allensworth, which is the home of the United States Hockey Hall of Fame.
Right.
The U.S. Hockey Hall.
Yeah, which, Minnesota, right?
Yeah, yeah. So they were interested in it. I happen to actually, from my hockey days, know the director of the hall up there, and I'm going to loan it to them for display.
Okay, so on loan.
Yeah.
Do you have to insure it? I'm just curious.
You know, I've just emailed him today to try to find out, because I'm not sure either. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We don't really even know a value, but we'll probably have to figure something out.
But you know how old it is they're hearing about, right?
Yes, yeah, we believe, and I say we because I've been in contact with many experts and people, even people who study wood. We believe it's from the mid-1880s. So about 1885, give or take. And that is the same time frame or decade that organized hockey as we know it started. So it goes back to the very beginning of the game, of the organized game that we know now, you know.
And this is the condition it needs to stay in, right? You don't want to clean it up, you don't want to sand it, you don't want to paint it.
No, we don't want to do.
I think people make those mistakes a lot, right?
Yeah. They say, oh, I gotta varnish it, and, and protect it. No, as a matter of fact, when I contacted the Hockey Hall of Fame, he said, well, you better get some white gloves when you pick it up from now on. I think that's crazy, but we'll touch it tonight. That's fine. But oils from your hand, stuff like that. So this needs to stay as is, as found. You know?
So I'm assuming they'll put it under glass up there.
Yeah, yes. I gave him some measurements, and so I think he's building a display piece to incorporate it with hopefully some other very old Minnesota hockey memorabilia that they have.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. So you have some other really fun things here too. But I don't want to distract you too much. If you want to go in more on the hockey stick and maybe kind of pick it up so people can see it a little bit.
For sure. Yeah, this is just part of my collection.
Yeah.
This is mid-1950s hockey gear, as it was back then. Very crude, felt leather.
Cut a lot of pucks in there, right?
Yeah, but I love it. And same with the goalie pads. They're all mid-1950s, you know.
Yeah.
The stick itself, I'll pick up. I believe at one time it was displayed on a wall with some other sticks, only because there is some yellow paint on the back, which I've not tried to remove.
Yeah.
You know, I just need to leave that. So that, it's very light, very light. You know, the wood it was made from is American elm, and obviously it's been drying for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
So it's dried out. It's very light.
Is that considered a hardwood? I don't even know.
Yeah, yes, elm.
Because I can imagine how fragile it would be just to have a wooden stick on the rink, right?
For sure, and that's why not a lot of these.
They take a beating.
Well, they didn't survive. Yeah, they broke, and then you burned them as kindling, and then, but this one, when hockey The first advertisement I saw for hockey sticks was about 1900, and they were advertising them as rock elm, and rock elm is a harder wood.
Okay.
So when sticks started being mass-produced, it was using rock elm. This, I had a guy take a sample, it's American elm, and he said that is a softer wood, so this never would have been a stick that was mass-produced. And that's good in the fact that it's very old. You know, it was either handmade.
Oh, it looks handmade.
You know,
I mean, when you look at it, it does.
Yeah, and the one thing that everyone had pointed out to me is this distinctive little, this little knob right here.
Yep.
And whoever made it at the time, you can tell there was a knot in the wood probably, and he just carved around that. And I contacted a historical sports society in New York, and he just went crazy over the stick. You know, he went crazy over the uniqueness of this. He said, I've never seen anything like it. I'm sure it's the only one. You know?
So the other sticks don't have that.
No. This is just unique to this.
Okay.
And the photos are just showing the style of sticks used back
but they're definitely
in the
the
day.
same style.
Correct. Yeah. And size. It's very short. But when hockey was just starting, it was evolving from bandy or shinny, you know, another game played on ice, and very low. You know, the sticks were very short, and if you look at these old pictures, and then they became taller about the mid 1890s and resemble the sticks we know of today.
I see.
So I guess the special thing about this is
the backs started going out, right?
Yeah. How can you be bent over? And so, yeah, sticks became taller, hockey became more evolved, and we're where we are today, you know.
Wow. So tell us more. What else do you have here? You've got these. We have a couple of big sticks back here, too, a little more of today's style.
Correct.
Right? But these are goalie sticks,
These are goalie sticks, right, with the wide
Not sure that our
parts.
audience can see them.
No, that's just a 1960s. That's one of my old sticks from when I played, probably about 1980.
Oh, high school?
That's one of mine, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the day.
Nice.
And so, like I said, I just love anything old hockey.
Yeah.
And
it's your number one thing that you look for?
Absolutely, yeah. And to find this was a fun. Kurt Brown at the Star Tribune did a story on it in the paper that really started things rolling as far as people knowing about this. And then I had a wood sample taken by a U of M professor. We determined what type it was. The guys in New York at the Sports Historical Society believe it could be, mid 1850s or 1880s, and if that's the case, it could be the oldest known hockey stick in Minnesota and or possibly the United States.
Wow. Maybe it was the very first hockey stick ever made.
Wouldn't that be cool? Yes.
I wonder how you could prove that.
Yeah, that's the hard part. It's hard, but I did a lot of research. I spent hours and hours going through old photos, old documents, just to see if I could find any picture that had a little knob on a stick like that, which I couldn't, and B, to help date the stick, because that was kind of the hard part until I came across these photos online. Really helped narrow it down almost to a 5-year period.
Oh, wow,
in the
really?
mid-1880s,
Yeah, so the transition between 1885 and 1893, when the slightly more traditional sticks came out, longer ones. They're still made of wood, though.
Correct.
They're all made of wood.
One piece of wood back in the day.
Yeah.
So this is one piece of wood. The end has just been heated up and literally bent. You can see the grain come all the way around. So it's one piece of wood. Yes.
That is amazing. I didn't know they did that.
And another unusual thing about this I'll show is it is warped a little bit from the years, but there's this unusual knob on the top. It's almost triangular, and it almost feels like a piece is missing. It might have been done to help grip the stick, and a piece, though, might have fallen off many years ago. I don't know if that was part of the design as well, because normally sticks are squared.
Right.
And to have that missing piece also kind of raises a question as well.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, if a piece came off, then somebody obviously sanded it down.
Right. Yeah. It appears very worn, but so we don't know on that end of things why that's like that.
And you may never know, unless there's some way to, see it against other sticks where, you might see another one just like that. But you obviously have a one of a kind because no other sticks have the notch, right? It's not even a notch. I guess it's a bump.
Almost a decorative piece, because it serves no purpose. It just sticks out. So I was very fortunate, to come across this and add it to my collection. And it doesn't do any good sitting in my basement, going in the dark. I want to show it, so that's why I'm loaning it to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And it'll be up there.
Will there be a big ceremony or anything?
No, not necessarily. I don't think so. It'd be cool, if I could be up there for
champagne and caviar.
The big unveiling and stuff. So we'll see. If he wants to do something, I'll road trip up there. I think
you should. Yeah, we would road trip up there too to go see that.
It would be fun to see. It would really be neat.
Tom's family is a very heavy-duty hockey family. I mean, they're big into all the games. You always see them. I mean, they've even been,
Oh yes.
I think Courtney actually once got to try to hit a puck into the net
at a game. That's fun. That's fun.
So, what other kind of things do you look for when you're out antiquing?
I never know till it hits me. Literally, I almost was hit in the head with that blade right there.
I don't think it would have hurt you.
So, I look for mainly the vintage. Sporting goods, but by vintage I'm talking pre 1960 even. I'm talking about the very old stuff, the leather stuff.
Right.
And I specifically, do hockey about 90%. That was my game. I have had 60, 70, 80 different vintage wood hockey sticks I've collected over the years. So,
do you still have them, or do you resell them?
You trade, and collectors are always trading up or trading down, or thinning out the collection. So I don't have all of them, but I do have some of the wood hockey sticks, which I've always liked. Like I said, to me, it's a piece of folk art. It just tells a story.
Well, in restaurants these days too, you see a lot of memorabilia and sports memorabilia in places, around town and the in the eateries.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always, the show American Pickers, these guys go in and they're always looking for stuff. So you never know what you're going to come across and what it's worth. So it's always interesting, though, to see what they think that they could sell it for.
Yeah, and you don't know, Mm-hmm. And it's funny, the Pickers, they're not sports guys. In watching the show, they're more advertising and signs.
Right.
So I'm always looking in the background and say, you should have asked about that.
Yeah.
They would have walked right by this. Where me, that was like not a holy grail, but just a real nice find for hockey.
So what would be the holy grail?
That's a good question.
That's what I'm here for.
There's what would be the best thing ever? It would probably be, a holy grail would probably be to come across like a hockey jersey from a team like one of the big teams back in the 1920s or 30s, where the jerseys were made of thick wool. They're wool. That's how they got the name hockey sweaters.
Right, like no arenas at that time, right? Yeah. That was outside.
Yeah. 1920s or 30s original jersey, Minnesota Gophers, a professional hockey team, with lettering stitched on. Extremely valuable. They just aren't out there. The ones that are out there are in museums.
Wow. So you have other hobbies too, right? Are you still doing some of the other things? I remember you were doing some brewing and things like that. Yeah. Well, I used to own a homebrew store back 20-some years ago to teach people how to make beer and wine. I don't have that anymore, but I still make my own beer and wine as a hobby, which is kind of fun. Yeah.
And other than that, I play drums in a band. I'm still busy doing fun things.
Are you still playing hockey?
I am not playing hockey.
Oh.
No, those pucks are too hard now. Maybe my bones are too soft. One of the two.
We've
But-
all gone soft. over
Yes,
the
I know. And look at, with this stuff, if it hits you, you're going to get hurt. And this is the
Yeah.
only stuff I have. So, no, I retired from playing goalie twice.
Twice. Well, you never know. You could always come back for another round.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. What else do you want to tell us? You've got lots of cool things that you do and you're into, and if there's more here on the hockey stick, and how long do you think it'll be up there at the Hall of Fame?
I'm not sure when he'll put it out. It's going up this month. I don't know that it's going on display right away. I don't know what his plans are for it, but hopefully it'll be on display by the end of the year before hockey season hits up there, because it's way up north, but they're busy. There's arenas up there, and it's a big hockey town. So I'm hoping it's up by mid to late fall, and as long as they want to keep it out, they might rotate displays in and out, and so he might call and say, it's now,
Yeah.
it's now on.
You should definitely insure it. I would. You have no idea, You don't want it going up there and disappearing.
Right, and I assume that that they know what they're doing as well. I'm sure a lot of people loan things to the museum, so they probably have paperwork in place as far as that as well. So
would you sell it if they wanted to buy it?
I don't know.
It depends on the price.
Well, yeah, like everything. What's your offer?
Yeah.
No, but should it be in the Hall of Fame permanently? Probably.
Yeah, I would think so. I think people would come from all over to see it.
I would hope. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it just make that people who see it will see it and make them think of their dad or their grandpa or whoever used to play,
great grandfather
way back when and stuff. That
kind of like the Leatherheads.
Exactly, George Clooney. Yes, those helmets they had for football at the time.
Yeah,
well, it was all leather. There wasn't much padding. That's how they got the name, the leather.
Right.
So that's just a time gone by. That will never come around again.
Well, thank goodness, because it really didn't add much protection. It didn't protect your neck, your head, or anything.
And even when I played in the 1970s. There wasn't much protection even. The stuff wasn't. You look at a goalie today, and they're all decked out, and you can't
they look like
believe
Darth
it.
Vader back there.
Where this is heavy.
Yeah,
this is
I know,
heavy
right?
stuff.
Can you imagine having all this on?
Yeah.
It would. That weighs a good 2 pounds right there.
Well, for sure. And then you have the
Maybe
pads
3.
that soak up water the whole game because of their leather.
Oh.
And we used to say they'd be 60 pounds at the end of the game. And so, but that's all we knew. That's all we had. So.
The last I checked, ice is hard.
It is hard, and the pucks too.
Yeah, the pucks are hard too.
So no, it's interesting to me. I just well, I think I was born, in the wrong century. They say,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe reincarnated.
Possibly,
from a previous.
That guy could be me.
That was you.
That could be me.
It could be. You just never know.
So it's just fun to tell the story. It's a story that I've been telling people and showing people now for last October is when
you got it.
Yeah,
I guess I was just going to ask that.
I haven't even had it a year, so it's kind of whirlwind. We're coming up on a year. The article in the paper came out the month after, and then the month after that, I was having samples done on it for wood types, and then the Hall of Fame I was in contact with. And, and so it's kind of been a fun whirlwind. It's happened very fast, but.
So when it comes back to your home, how do you keep it safe? How do you keep it from the oxygen?
I just have a little case I keep it in.
Do you think that's enough? Or?
I do, I guess, for now. Just to keep it out of the light and maybe some of the elements, humidity, or that type of deal. So so I just keep it locked in a little case. So.
Well, maybe they can offer you some suggestions too when you bring it up there about how to care for it when it's back at your place.
Right, because it needs to be preserved for the next 120 years too.
Right,
hopefully,
and
by somebody.
Yeah, one of your children may inherit it and do the same thing you're doing and take it out on tour.
Yeah, it would be fun. Like I said, it's more fun to show it off. You know, I know a lot of people who have unbelievable collections of stuff that is unbelievably rare, and he's the only guy who knows it.
Yeah.
It's in his basement.
They don't want anybody touching it.
It's in his garage. It's in a closet.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to show it off.
Yeah.
You know, I show it off.
Oh, I might have to go down to that store and poke around.
I was just in there today again.
Looking, digging through the stuff
it's a
in
nice
the back
store.
there.
You never know what you're going to find. So it's a nice store.
Yeah. What one is it again?
Hunt and Gather at 50th and Xerxes.
Okay. Is that the one that's got all the really unusual things outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like some really old signage and some metal things, metal signs, and
very unusual.
It would look like a picker's dream, but it's a store already.
For sure. And that's a great store. Believe me, they know my face. I come in at least once a week, and just looking for you know, what might fuel me to add to my collection, you know.
I've never been in there, but every time I drive by it, I think, God, that would be a great place to go browse.
You should.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff packed in there. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
well, even on the outside, you can tell that it's just packed on the inside.
Yeah, it's a picker's dream.
Yeah.
As they say, you know.
And I'm kind of married to one, so he likes to go to the estate sales, and you know, I never know what he's going to come home with next, and it's like I look around the house and go, where am I going to put that? We always find a place for it, though.
Yeah, it's hard to sneak in, you know, big goalie pads, so I'm busted.
Look, it followed me home, honey.
I'm busted.
You're the opposite of the girl that goes shopping and has to hide it from her husband. You know? I can't wait till they go to sleep and pull it out of the trunk. But we have a few minutes. Is there anything else you want to share?
Let's see. As part of the story of the stick. Well,
it's a story.
I could tell you just a little bit off the stick is. I just had picked these up. You know, I'm going to mention these. I just brought these to kind of decorate the set with. And I picked these up on that website online that starts with an E and ends with a bay. And I happened to get this glove made by Cooper Weeks in Canada. This was an old blocker, literally felt covered, by CCM in Canada, and the goalie pads you see down here too. And I bought them from a woman whose father
you got them all at the same place?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He played for the University of Minnesota team in like 1956 or 57.
Were they still the Gophers then?
Yeah, the Gophers, the 56, 57 team. And then they moved to Omaha, and he played for some teams out in Omaha as well. And they were just downsizing and going through his stuff. And lo and behold, I happened to come across this on that site, you know, we call eBay. And all of it, you know, all 4 pieces were for sale for one good price. And, and it was a buy it now, so I bought it. And I've kind of been in contact with her ever since because I wanted to find out more about it.
Yeah.
I like finding a story, obviously, behind everything I have, you know. And this is decor, but there's a story here, you know.
Do they offer any documentation? I mean, because it was his items, then maybe they could write something for you and sign it just to kind of prove that that's where it came from. I don't know if it's...
We've been in contact, and I told her if they come across any photos of him wearing this, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Well,
you know.
when I watched, you know, that antique show on television, you know, usually if you have some sort of backup material about something, it's more valuable.
Correct.
So like the photos or a letter from somebody or, you know, that type of thing. So, boy, it's really too bad you can't get something like that on the stick and find out where it came from.
Yeah, and
have you seen this stick? You could do like...
Have you seen me? I did talk to the person I bought it from. I did ask her if she knows where it came from. And she said, well, she goes to so many auctions and farm auctions and sales. She's like, I just don't recall where that came from. So you know, going back, we can't go back. It's all research and speculation.
Right.
But I believe that I found out a lot about it, considering there's no history of it. You know,
Well, you can build a story around it. You know, just your own story about how you found it. You know, will become a fun story
Yeah,
for
yeah.
others to tell and for your daughter to tell. And you know, should she end up with it someday? You know, if she's interested. But why not? You know, I would. You know, I would hate to see it though up on somebody's mantle, up, on the wall or something. You know, it would have to be like in a gun case behind a locked door.
And what fun is that? You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
So,
Again, then you get down to, well, nobody's seen it, so.
yeah. No, I want to.
Yeah.
I want to share it. You know, I think it's something like you saw it, and everyone here just when. I opened the case up, and you guys
yeah.
went crazy because
like, that's a hockey stick?
you've never
No.
you haven't seen anything like it, really.
Never.
You know? And so that's the fun part.
It'd be like holding up something like that and saying it's a baseball bat from, the 1700s or
And
1800s.
right, and it almost looks like it's that old.
Yeah,
but,
right.
And so it's like I said, it's fun to tell the story, to show people. I think that's what it's about. You know, it's not squirreling it away in some collection.
Yeah, I don't see that either. Do you have a one room where you keep your collection?
You know, kinda. You know, I mean, the basement, the corner of the basement. I have to, and it's really
She's allocated one little room for you there, one little spot.
I have. We kind of have a music room too, and it's kind of fun to have guitars and drums and stuff on the wall, and and so that's.
I would definitely decorate like that,
Yeah.
And I have my own little music corner too, where I have my stuff laid out. Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, I could have a sale down there too,
Yeah.
and I've been thinning out a little.
Thinning out? Really? You sell some of your stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nah. Well, we have just a little bit of time left. So, any last words?
No, I'm well, I guess I'll say that I'm happy that I was able to come on and share the story of the stick and my collection a little bit. It's been really fun. I've been having a great time talking about it.
Well, I'm so happy that you came on, Roger. This has been Stephanie Allensworth and Roger Crowley with Real People. Thanks for joining us.